It's July 20th, 1969. The whole world is gathered around their giant television screens to watch the event of the 20th century, the moon landing. Maddie and I have stepped back in time to watch this amazing event.
Oh my gosh, Jeremy.
They're putting the flag on the moon, Maddie! This is...
We made it to the moon, Jeremy!
We made it! Welcome to Ozarks Fox AM, live from the Discovery Center. I'm Jeremy Ray.
And I am a moon-landed Maddie Conklin.
You're Moony Maddie.
I'm Moony Maddie. Hey.
I love it.
This is such a cool setup they've got here at the Discovery Center for the new moon rises.
Wow. I feel I almost had goosebumps during that intro because I'm visualizing what it must have been like in 1969 to actually get to the moon and be sitting like in a living room. That was an event. Like, it's very rare right now that we have events the whole world watches because there's so many options, so many things.
Yeah.
The whole world stopped to watch this one event, and you had that shared experience. And that gives me goosebumps just to think of how far we've come technology-wise in life.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
Now that I think about it, my dad, Craiginator, was well over 10 years old. I need to get his take on the moon landing.
Can we interview him about this?
Dad, you were old enough to see the moon landing? The moon landing in 1969. You know what I'm most obsessed with is this TV setup.
If you can see this TV, what they've done is they have taken an old television from that time period and retrofitted it with current technology so it looks like what you would have watched in 1969. My great-grandparents had a giant television. It was actually bigger than this. It had the huge console.
Yeah, it kind of took up the whole entire space.
It was a piece of furniture.
It was.
I love this so much. They have such it's an amazing exhibit here.
Yes.
I have no desire in my life to ever go to the moon. Ever.
No, me neither.
But here at the Discovery Center, you can basically go to the moon without having to go to the moon. Because
and you can save a huge chunk of change by not hopping on that rocket to go to space for 8 seconds and then come back or whatever it is.
And can we just briefly point out this beautiful tapestry right here of President John F. Kennedy? This, I've heard, was actually in one of the Discovery Center members or employees had this. And what a perfect tribute to this 1969. As the man who launched the space race, John F. Kennedy, right here. I would pay high dollar for that. I just think it's beautiful craftsmanship.
If it's gone at the end of the show, you know who has it.
Oh, don't tell anybody.
Don't tell my little secret.
All right, but hey, before we officially get started, let's bring in our friend, Rihanna Clark. Rihanna, it's so good.
Hello, Rihanna.
I feel like I'm in a 1960s talk show
right?
Look at this. How are you?
Oh, I'm doing fine. How are you?
We are so good. First of all, thank you for having us. And can you remind our viewers about what you do here at Discovery Center?
So my name is Rihanna Clark, and I am our Director of Education.
Okay, there's a lot of edumacating going on here. So how do you direct all of it? Tell us about that.
I like to think of it as edutainment. So it's educational, but it's also entertainment. So we mix a lot of fun and science in, so that way the kids don't typically know that they're learning. So that includes our outreach programs, summer camps, field trips, distance learning, the Discovery School, and then just when you're learning here passively is also part of my job.
See, I feel like if I would have had something like this when I was a child, I learned better from hands-on training. Like you said, edutainment, because it feels like entertainment, but you're really learning. I think I would have absorbed more of it, and I wouldn't have to ask you so many questions today about the moon.
Exactly. But hey, we're here to learn, Jeremy.
Yeah, we are.
Yes. Well, I am so excited to take you guys around this exhibit. There's so many really cool things to see. I think we did a great job on behalf of the Cook Family Foundation. They assisted us with getting the Smithsonian exhibit, and we did a great job of tiering our content. So there's something in this space for everybody. An entire family can learn about the moon and feel like they've gone to the moon.
And it's never too late to start learning. Even though we're adults, there's still things I could learn.
Yes.
And I probably will today.
Oh, we will. We've already learned a few things, about this thing.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, so the main part of this exhibit, we start, obviously, in the past, 1969, and then when we kind of look across the way, we start with our Tycho and Copernican craters.
Hey, can we walk over there and see that?
Let's
see it.
Do that.
Okay, tell us about that.
All right, so we start in the past, and then we come over here and we're looking at our Tycho and Copernican craters. So on the moon, we have many impact craters, we've got volcanic eruptions, we've got lava flows, we've got so many different things. And so this kind of introduces this different geography that we find on the moon, and it invites people to take a tour to look at all of those things.
Wow.
Yeah.
And as big as these, what we're looking at, it's
we've
probably just.
zoomed these in.
I was gonna say it's probably just a small speck of the moon because the moon is so much bigger than what we think and see in the sky.
Exactly. It's so much bigger. And so the one thing that I really love, especially when we get to our lunar sites, is you'll see these really tiny little dots. And that's where we've been. And then you see these little spider webs kind of all around it, and you can see the little tracks around our lunar sites. And then you have these huge craters right next to it. And so the moon is just a vast, huge space, and the part that we've seen is even just, we take up a small little part of it, and it's so interesting and really inspiring.
Yeah.
It really is. My mind is kind of blown already.
I
just
know.
from this.
So one crater that I wanted to show you guys, this is a young crater, and by young, we mean 10,000 years old. So some of the things we're going to be looking at today are very, very old. But this beautiful crater right here, this is a very young crater. It's about 1,400 meters wide. And so there are a few larger craters, too, that we'll look at as well.
Quick question for you, Rihanna. When you say crater, is it from like actual space rocks like landing and hitting it? What creates the crater?
Yeah, so we've got impact craters, and actually we have a wonderful 3D printed kind of gallery that looks at, I don't want to say birth of a crater, but just the different ages of craters and how they look. So when they first start, they're really smooth, and then as they get older, they get a little more granular. And so you can actually feel that when you get to our moon bouncing area.
Got it.
Our
Okay.
Let's keep going down this beautiful gallery.
Yes. Okay, so again, I said earlier that we've had some volcanic eruptions. So there are a couple of images of craters and areas in the moon that when you look at them, they look kind of like oceans, but they're actually lava flows. And it's so interesting. My favorite image has a lava flow in it, and it's actually when we exit.
Okay.
But you can also take a look at our screen in a moment. So here we have an image of a past volcanic eruption. And so it's about 20 kilometers wide, and you can see where the ash kind of settled, which is really, really cool.
It is so fascinating.
so
Can we go over here to this beautiful touchscreen? I love the interactive parts of the Discovery Center so you can really get a hands-on idea of what you're doing.
Oh, yes, definitely. So yeah, so this is our Lunar Reconnaissance Orbiter camera. You can come on and you can explore the moon.
Jeremy, we're on the moon.
We're on the moon.
There we go. And so this allows you to zoom in.
So are these the dark spots right here that you're saying were identified as oceans, but it's
Oceans.
really volcanic?
Exactly, exactly. And let me put these names
There we go.
Here, Rihanna, do you mind? I could actually give you a mic, and Jeremy, you want to share?
Oh, sure. I will take that.
I love how, and look at all the touchscreen, and I know you can zoom in. And
You can zoom in.
out.
So I'll drive for a moment here. Oh,
Wow.
There we go. Ooh, look at that huge crater.
that is wonderful. Oh, and I zoomed in. My elbow said, I want this to be huge. And there it is. So when you bring your family here, you'll be able to come and you can take a nice little tour of the moon from the comfort of just indoors. And then you can put names on and learn about all of the names of these craters.
That is so
Wow.
fascinating.
Wow. So it is very interactive,
It is
even
very
if you're,
interactive.
you have a kid and they're just touching the screen for fun. But then you're really learning about the names, how they're formed, all the dark spaces around it.
Exactly, exactly.
And I love, too, we were here just kind of exploring before, and it's funny how they thought they were oceans, but there's lava, so they're named after oceans.
They are. So we've got a couple of oceanic names, and
Oh my gosh,
seems
look
to
at
be-
that.
Look at
Wow.
these. Okay,
So-
are
so-
these all craters?
they are. And so actually when we get over into the corner, you can see a really beautiful image. We've got some colorized images that show the topography, so the different heights and variations of what we're seeing here. Because this looks really flat, right? And so we want to give a real view of how
Right.
large these structures are.
And we've only just scratched the surface of the moon right now,
Literally.
guys. There's a whole other side we're going to get to in just a second. Don't go anywhere. So much more fun from the Discovery Center in downtown Springfield right after this.